Hi, my name is Maria. I am a founder of Africa with Locals. I am a travel marketing coach and I help local travel businesses in Africa attract international visitors. When I talk about local travel businesses in Africa, I mean locally owned travel agencies and locally owned hotels, or actually anybody who works in a tourism industry and who is willing to find out more about travel marketing. So, in this video, I'm going to talk about 4 key questions that you need to ask yourself to verify whether you are really able to create a powerful online brand that will attract a visitor from other continents like Europe, America, Australia. What are those questions? Before I talk about them, I want to let you know that I have just come back from Lagos, Nigeria, where I had this awesome opportunity to train an amazing bunch of people, of local travel agents who really have this pioneering spirit and they are willing to go all the way in and to do everything to build a strong travel brand with a strong online presence, and who are also willing to promote Nigeria as a travel destination. So, what are those 4 questions? Have a look at number 1. Number 1 refers to determination. Are you determined to achieve your goal of attracting international visitors, especially when you come from a country that is not a popular travel destination yet? Obviously, I point out yet, because it's possible to change that. But are you ready to do what you're gonna do consequently? Are you ready to be doing this every day, or like 5-6 days a week at least? Are you ready to spend some time, to devote some time every day to growing your online brand? Are you ready to do this? Are you willing to do this? Do you know that it's not gonna just happen overnight? Are you ready to do it step by step, and are you prepared to do it no matter whether you fail, whether you trip, but are you determined to always get up and continue doing what you're gonna do? So that's the very first question you should ask yourself. If you don't believe that you are able to maintain this consistency of doing all those online activities that need to be done in order to create a strong online brand, if you are not sure about that, I would rethink whether you really want to go onto the new market, international market, because without this consequent effort every day, it won't be very likely to happen. Question number 2. What is your offer like? Is your offer of a high quality? Is your offer something that you really believe in? Is your offer good enough, and you know that it's good, that you will be able to talk about it with such assurance in your voice, with being sure that what you are going to give, what you are going to actually sell, is attractive enough? Have you thought about the standards? When we talk about the standards, it's not just about raising the customer service level, but it's also about meeting the expectations of international visitors, which are not always the same as the expectations of local travelers. For example, when we talk about hotels, usually a typical 4-star hotel in Africa wouldn't match in terms of the standards a 4-star hotel standard in Europe or the USA. And there is nothing bad about it. It's just simply a different approach and different requirements when it comes to such standards. So usually when I, let's say, visit a 4-star hotel in, let's say, Nigeria, I would say that the standard of this hotel would be an equivalent of a 3-star hotel standard in Europe. And if you want to attract international visitors, then it's not about saying, well, in my country it's done that way, but it's about meeting their needs. So saying that, for example, okay, this hotel in my offer, if I am a tour agent, it is listed in their website as a 4-star hotel, but we actually promote it as a 3-star hotel. and this is what you're gonna get within your package, right? So it's about not being surprised and disappointed afterwards, right? If you know upfront what to expect, then it's all fine. But if you expect a 4-star standard and then you arrive in a country and you don't know that actually the standard is going to be more or less of a 3-star level, you will be disappointed and you'll think that maybe I overpaid. Okay? So it's about knowing such things in advance. And when it comes to having a good offer, it's not only about the quality of services and the rank of the package that you offer, and also delivering your promises, but it's also about creating an offer that matches your USP, your unique selling proposition. If you found out what are your unique selling points, what are your unique selling aspects that you're gonna promote, then it should be visible in your offer. Why should I choose you, not somebody else? What do you specialize in? What, are you mainly focused on? Maybe you are a type of a tour agent that organizes specifically culinary trips, or maybe you focus on art, or maybe you focus on music, or maybe when we talk about Nigeria, you want to create a package that includes, the Nollywood topic, right? So there are obviously many areas within traveling that you can focus on and that you can promote in your offer, and then make sure that your offer points that out. Why are you different? And obviously your offer should point out that you are from here, so you know the local market the best. Otherwise, how would you compete with those big international brands that have a lot of money, big budgets for advertising, promoting their brands online? How would you compete with them? It's not about the competition anymore when you point out who you are, when you point out that you know your country the best and you are gonna show this country the best. If you create yourself and your brand into such position that your image will be the image of a real host, a trustworthy host that will show me around and that will take care of me during my trip. Okay? No matter whether you are a travel agent or a hotelier, your businesses must reflect that approach. Question number 3 regards the truth. How true are you? How real are you in everything that you are saying, in everything that you are showing through different online channels, including your website, including your social media channels like Facebook or Instagram or maybe Pinterest or maybe YouTube channel? You need to really believe in it, because if you don't believe in your product, if you don't believe in your service, if you don't believe that you really offer an amazing tour package like nobody else, that will be ideal for your target audience, for your ideal type of travelers, if you don't really believe in it, then you will not also show it through your different online channels. And your social media, your online presence must be coherent with you, with your beliefs. Otherwise, people sense very quickly that there's something, fishy about it, that you are just, trying to sell a product, just trying to sell a service, and that you are not really interested in them, in their comfort, in their satisfaction. When it comes to a tourism industry, it's incredibly important to remember that in here it's really hard to fake, this approach, this engaged approach, unless you really feel it. Because travelers sense it straight away. Travelers are usually the people that are more open to other cultures, they are more open to other people, and they will notice much faster than a regular, typical member of society when there is something fake about, the way you talk, about the way you do the things. So try to think whether it's really something that I want, whether I really want to create this offer that is the best one, whether I really want my guests to be absolutely satisfied with everything that I provide. If you've got such approach, if you really want to know the people, if you really like the people, you are ready to start promoting your brand online, and you are ready to start attracting international visitors, and you are ready to make them feel happy about everything that you do. Because even if you make a mistake, you will be willing to apologize, you will be willing to explain, you will be willing to even provide an extra service just as a sort of compensation, right? Question number 4. Have you worked out your strategy yet? So the thing is that without a strategy, you'll be like jumping from one activity to another. You will be trying this and that. You'll be trying everything that seems like a good opportunity, like a good way of, creating a stronger position online. You will listen to different digital marketers who will tell you, their best ways of achieving success in promoting your brand online. And you will listen to different coaches maybe, or maybe you will hear about, your friend or colleague who also has a travel agency or who also owns a hotel. And maybe he did this or that and he managed to attract much more customers, much more guests. If you have this kind of an approach, you will be just simply jumping from one occasion to another, from one opportunity to another, and none of your activities will be able to create a steady growth of attracted, potentially engaged followers to your social communities, to your communities online, or people who will be willing to leave you their email address, and they will start forming your email list that you will be always able to refer to when it comes to a new sale, a new offer. So you need to have a strategy that is coherent. You need to have a strategy that includes every major area of your online activity. You need to have a strategy both in terms of your email list building, in terms of your content strategy, content marketing, right? And also in terms of your advertising strategy on Facebook or Instagram. You need to have a strategy when it comes to choosing the right social media channel. You need to have a strategy when it comes to posting content, when, how often, what time of the day, what type of content. You need to know the answers to all those questions to be able to work out your plan step by step. And when we talk about having a good strategy, it means that you know your starting point and you know your destination. A is your starting point and B is your final destination, the place that you want to reach. So obviously we will say that in case of a travel brand or a hotel, the final goal is to attract as many as possible international travelers to their brand. And the starting point is the place in which you are right now at the very moment. But now, on the way from this place, your starting point, to your destination, your final destination, there are many sub-steps, small points on the way that are actually quite important points on the way, stops on the way. I would even call them your milestones that you need to reach to be able to go further to the next step. And you also need to be able to name each one of them, right? So for example, if my starting point is level 0, or if my starting point is that I own a travel agency, but it's not working out yet, I'm only attracting local travelers, local tourists, and I haven't even started, promoting my brand on international markets. So then you need to work it all out step by step. You need to, first of all, define your target audience. This will be your very first point. You need to think, who is my perfect type of a traveler in terms of the budget, in terms of demographics, in terms of their interests. And once you define your group of travelers, you need to find out what language they speak. And when I talk about the language, obviously I don't mean just English or French or German, but I mean how they talk, how they communicate. on emotional level, in terms of their vocabulary, in terms of their interests. You need to find out what they like. You need to find out how they behave. You need to learn your target audience as good as possible. You need to know them. So you need to search their social media profiles. You need to sign up to different communities online, different groups on Facebook, for instance. You need to see what they follow on Instagram or on Pinterest. And then you will see what hashtags they use in their online communication, and try to read the comments, what questions they ask. Find out as much as possible about them. This is your very first step that you need to plan in your strategy on how to get from my place where I am right now to the place in which I am able to attract travelers from overseas. Now, the next steps, you have to figure them out on your own, what you need, depending on what's your situation. But obviously your website would most probably be one of those points. Your website needs to be up to date. It needs to comply with international standards in terms of the design, in terms of the content, in terms of how smooth it is when it comes to the booking. So maybe in your case you have a beautiful website, but one of those milestones should be a moment in which you work out your booking form so that it's upgraded and works smoothly without any problems, so that it's as effective as possible, right? Maybe another point on your way, to get to your final dream destination will be creating a content marketing strategy, because without the content, let's be honest with each other, you will not be able to attract anyone. You cannot just use some stock photos or a content that you just copy from somebody else. You need to have your own original content to show who you are, to show that you know your market the best, and to show the quality in terms of your pictures and in terms of your videos. Tourism is one of those, basically in every market sector, you need good content to promote your brand. But especially when it comes to tourism, how are you going to attract a potential visitor to your place, to your country, to your region, if they don't see appealing photos, if they don't read interesting content, interesting information, facts and curiosities about the place they might be willing to go to? You need to attract them somehow. So it's not possible to do it without the content. Even if you spend millions on your ads, it won't be as effective as creating a valuable content that promotes your destination and that obviously promotes your travel brand, your agency or your hotel. So basically, you need to be doing the things consequently. You need to know what you're doing step by step. You need to plan all those elements. You need to know which social media channels you're going to use and why. You need to know what kind of content you're going to post and why. You need to know your target audience. You need to know your unique selling proposition. You need to have your branding. You need all those elements. And once you put all your efforts into creating your online community, into building your email list, and when it comes to this final moment in which you start to monetize all those efforts that you have taken up so far, even then, or even most importantly then, you have to have another strategy, a sub-strategy for this moment in which you will start selling your product, your service. You need to know step by step how to create ads that will be engaging, how to create ads that will at first create brand awareness, and then they will make your followers be more engaged when you step by step warm them up, and then you get to the point in which they are warm enough, they are engaged enough, they trust you enough so that you can present your offer to them. That's the way it works on international market. If you want to attract the visitors from Europe, the visitors from the USA or Australia, you need to comply with the way they think. You need to respond to how they think. So, these were the 4 questions that I wanted to ask you. I hope that it will help you verify where you are now at the moment, what stage, and what is ahead of you, whether you are ready to take up this challenge and become a pioneer who attracts more and more international visitors to your brand. I keep my fingers crossed for you.